Today I'm taking you with me to the Dorchester for what might just be the most luxurious and definitely the most expensive afternoon tea in London. From the moment I walked in, the service was flawless, warm, attentive and so effortlessly classy. The food itself was also impeccable. The atmosphere was calm, elegant and made even more magical by a children's choir singing Christmas carols. If you're curious whether this festive afternoon tea is truly worth the high price, keep watching for my full review. Hello everyone and welcome back for another afternoon tea review. Now today we are heading back to a hotel that I've been to before for afternoon tea and absolutely loved. We are going to the Dorchester, which I'm very excited about because I've heard their festive afternoon tea is incredible. Now they do have some choral singers there, and if you watched my video last week from the Ritz you will know that the choral singers at the Ritz were a bit intense, so I'm hoping the ones at the Dorchester won't be as crazy, but I'm excited to see what this is going to be like. This afternoon tea is also quite pricey. I think it's also £120 per person, so a bit of a splurge, but I will let you guys know whether I think it is worth the money. So without further ado, let's head over to the Dorchester and go and have a little bit of a mooch around the hotel, and then we'll head in for our afternoon tea. Just dropped my coat in the cloakroom, but oh my goodness, the weather today is so wet and windy and cold. Honestly, my hair is being a bit frazzled, but hopefully it's all fine. I'm going to show you around the hotel a bit because it's gorgeous. The Christmas trees here are incredible, all the decor, amazing. Let me show you some of it. They've also got like a little gingerbread village of London, which I love, so let me show you that as well. Table. It is gorgeous in here. I love the Christmas trees. So the baubles on them are silver, cream and kind of an icy blue, which I really like, and all the decor, all the flowers in here match that colour scheme as well. It's stunning. It's so gorgeous. Now I've got the afternoon tea menu in front of me. So the festive afternoon tea here is actually £135 per person, so it's more expensive than I was expecting it to be. It's £15 more expensive per person than the Ritz, which I think is actually kind of crazy. I always thought of the Ritz as being the most expensive afternoon tea in London. Clearly that's not the case anymore, so this better be outstanding. So I'm going to go for the £135 option. I'm not going to go for any of the more expensive options, but just to let you know, it goes all the way up to £210 per person. And with this, you get a glass of champagne. So the champagne you get for the £135 is a Veuve, I never say that right, the yellow label, or you can get a alcohol-free sparkling wine. £145 goes up to a UK sparkling wine, and then the £210 is Dom Perignon, which is not surprising to me. So looking at the actual afternoon tea menu, the food, you get a standard option, and they also do have a vegan option in here as well. They did ask if I've got any dietary requirements or allergies, so I'm sure they accommodate for those as well. So with the standard afternoon tea, which is what I'm going to go for, you get a selection of homemade finger sandwiches. There's a good variety in there. There is a turkey sandwich, which I'm very excited about. I can see some truffle egg mayo, which you guys know I love. And then you get scones, so you get a warm plain and raisin scone, and you get a selection of preserves and clotted cream. And then they've actually listed the pastries out here, so you get 4 different pastries. There's a Mont Blanc, there's a Yule log in there, which I'm very excited about, an almond mousse and a tropical tart, and I'm sure there'll be some other bits that come our way as we go, because that is what happened last time I came here, and I very much enjoyed the way that the service flowed, so I'm sure I'm going to really enjoy my time here. As I mentioned, I've gone for the Veuve champagne, so that's the £135 option, and then for my tea I did ask for a recommendation. Last time I came here I had the raspberry and rose tea, which was delicious, and I highly recommend trying it if you're going to come to the Dorchester. They actually have 3 different rose teas available, which I think is amazing. But this time I've gone for the Dorchester Afternoon Blend, which is one of their exclusive tea blends. So they've got a breakfast blend and an afternoon blend, and I've gone for the afternoon one. I'm excited to try it and to see what I think. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely delicious. So now I'm just going to sit at my table, soak up the atmosphere, and wait for my champagne and my tea to arrive with me so we can start the afternoon tea service. My champagne has now arrived, and it's in this gorgeous champagne flute. I'll hold it a bit closer so you guys can see. It's got a bit of frosted glass at the bottom of it as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Not branded like the one we had at the Ritz, but I still think it's very beautiful. So I'm going to try this champagne and let you guys know what I think. I feel like this is always the perfect way to start a festive afternoon tea. So good. I feel like Veuve champagne always reminds me of Christmas time. I don't know about you guys, but I rarely drink champagne unless it's like a birthday or festive period where we're at someone's house and we decide to open a bottle that someone's been gifted. So it always puts me in the festive mood. And I'm very excited for the rest of this afternoon tea service to start. I will say I love the crockery here. It's the same as last time I came here. It's got this beautiful pink floral design on it. I'll try and hold some bits up so you guys can see. So that's the plate. And then the teacup and the saucer that are on it are this like kind of darker pink colour, which I really, really love. And I love the gold trim around them as well. I just think they're beautiful, really pretty, and just really nice and fun to add to the experience. Okay, the tea has also now just arrived with me. So this is the Dorchester Afternoon Blend. Let me find it in the menu so I can tell you exactly what the notes are in it. So they do rare Dorchester teas here, but these are just their exclusive tea blends. So this is a combination of malt, honey and grape flavours. It says, uniting India's two most celebrated origins, the champagne of tea superbly introduces Assam's multi-flavour to Darjeeling's aromatic top notes. So that sounds incredible to me, and it's been poured for me really nicely, and it's right here in this teacup. So I'm going to give it a smell first and then we'll try it and I'll let you guys know what I think of the flavour. It smells really lovely. It's like a nice comforting scent to it. So I'm going to try it without any milk and then I can let you guys know my thoughts. That's a really lovely malty tea. Perfect for an afternoon tea. I know why that's the afternoon blend. It's just perfect for this time of day. So I'm going to really enjoy that. I think I might try another tea blend later, but probably when the sweet items arrive with the afternoon tea. Then our first food item of the afternoon tea has also arrived with me. So I'm just finding the menu so I can tell you exactly what it is. So this is the beetroot tart, and it has some red currant in it as well and some cheese. So let me show it to you on the plate because it looks gorgeous and it smells amazing as well. I know you guys can't smell it, but I thought I would just let you know. So that's what it looks like on the plate. I'm going to pop it onto my plate and then I'm going to cut into it and get a little bit to try. I think it's got some pomegranate seeds on it as well from what I can see, and I'm sure this is going to be absolutely delicious because everything I've had at the Dorchester previously was so tasty. Honestly, I could have eaten double the amount that I did, but I've got some of this on my fork, so I'm going to try it now. I'll let you know what I think of the flavours. That is so tasty. The flavour is really nice and light and creamy. The beetroot isn't too overwhelming, and I feel like having the pomegranate seeds in there are a really nice crunch and bursts of like unexpected flavour. So I'm going to really enjoy having that as a little bit of an amuse bouche before I get into the sandwiches, which have actually just been placed down right in front of me. As I mentioned, the sandwiches have arrived with me, and you get 5 with this afternoon tea service. I'm sure they probably do refills as well. With the more premium afternoon teas, they're always open to that because you are paying a lot of money for them. So we've got 5 different sandwiches here. Let me hold them up so you guys can see a little bit closer. Obviously, I'll hold them each up while we try them. But we've got a ham one, and then you've got the truffle egg mayo, the turkey, the cucumber, and then the smoked salmon. And I feel like smoked salmon and turkey always remind me of Christmas time. And then a ham sandwich, if it's got some kind of festive flavours in there, sometimes that can feel a bit Christmassy as well. So I'm very excited to try these and to see what I think and how they compare to the ones I had last time at the Dorchester. So first up we have the ham sandwich. So this is Dorrington ham, burnt orange and cloves on onion bread. Now does that not just sound stunning and delicious? I cannot wait to try this. I'll let you guys know what I think of the flavours. That is really, really delicious. The ham in that is gorgeous. Really enjoyed it. I could have 2, 3, 4 of those. So we're off to a really good start. Now, one thing I will say, just as a side note before I move on with the sandwich reviews, is that it's very calm and relaxing in here. There's some nice music playing in the background. It's quite nice and vintagey music. It's just really adding to the atmosphere, making it feel a bit more special. I know there are going to be carol singers at one point, so I'll let you guys know what that's like and also what the volume's like when that's going on, because if you've watched my Ritz review, you will know the sound levels there were incredible and not in a good way. It was so noisy. The Ritz itself was packed. It was full to the brim with people. Even in the corridors, like everywhere I went, it was rammed full. It was busy. All the tables were taken up at afternoon tea. People were talking loudly. I could barely hear myself think. And then they had carol singers that were trying to sing above that noise. And it just got to a point where I was like, this isn't enjoyable, to be honest. And when you're paying so much money, like, you want to be relaxed and you want to be calm and enjoying your time. So I'm very much enjoying that this is a much calmer, quieter experience. Anyway, enough of me rambling about noise. Let's carry on with our sandwich review. So next up, we've got the egg mayonnaise sandwich. So this is Burford Brown truffle egg mayonnaise on a white bread. Now, I do love a truffle egg mayo. I think I had this last time I came here, so I'm sure I will love this again. Just as good as I remember. The truffle in that is not too overwhelming. It's really delicious. Nice amount of filling in there as well, so I'm very, very happy with that. Third up, we have probably the most exciting for me, because this is the most Christmassy of the sandwiches. So this is Cambridge bronze turkey, cranberry, chestnut and pork stuffing on a malt bread. I'm excited to try this. I hope it gives me all of the Christmas vibes. I don't normally like a cranberry sauce with a Christmas meal because I find it's too sweet and overwhelming, but in there it is the perfect amount. Balances so beautifully with the rest of the flavors. That is really, really tasty. I love it. And then fourth up, we have the cucumber sandwich, which you guys know is never normally my favorite. So this is cucumber, pine cream and sorrel on white bread. I don't think I'll particularly like this, but I'll let you know how it compares to other cucumber sandwiches that I've tried. The cucumber in there is really nice and crunchy, and it's got a lot of flavour to it, which is surprising because it's cucumber. So I actually really rate that. I think it's really good compared to other cucumber sandwiches that I've tried. And then finally, we have the smoked salmon sandwich. So this is smoked salmon, Marie Rose sauce and lemon on a rye bread. So I'll try this one as well. Let you guys know what my thoughts are. That is so Christmas party to me. I love a smoked salmon Bellini with some creme fraiche and caviar. That's like my favourite little snack. I can eat like so many of those. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love them, and that is really tasty. I actually really like the Marie Rose sauce in there. I feel like it really adds to the sandwich, makes it really nice and flavorful. So overall, I really rate the sandwiches here. I think they're really, really good. Now that I've finished with the sandwiches, I've switched my tea and I've gone for the vanilla black because it was recommended to me and my server told me it was delicious. So this is a vanilla malt and maple flavor. It's a Sri Lankan black tea with rich, full-bodied base and a caramel texture, blended with high-quality natural vanilla essence. I cannot wait to try this. I love vanilla fragrances, vanilla flavors, all of that sort of stuff. So I've got it in my teacup here. I've got a fresh teacup, teapot, etc. Poured really nicely for me as well. So I'm going to try this and see what I think of it. That is amazing. It's got a really nice vanilla caramel flavour to it that I think is perfect for having with the sweet items in your afternoon tea. So that was definitely a really good recommendation, and again, I highly recommend you try this yourself if you're coming to the Dorchester. Now we've had a little Palate Cleanser arrive with us, and it's the cutest little gingerbread man. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm hoping it's going to focus. Come on, camera. Focus. There you go. How cute does he look? So we're going to have this. It's like a little ice cream sandwich, my server said. So unfortunately, I am going to have to cut him in half, or try to cut into him at least to try it. I'm going to try and get some on my fork without destroying it, and then I will let you guys know what my thoughts are of the flavour. I think I'm going to have to actually eat this all in one go. I cannot cut into it because of the top that it's got on it, but this is what it looks like on the fork. So I'm going to give this a go now. I'll let you know what I think. That is so delicious and refreshing. It was like an ice cream sandwich. So the middle was ice cream. The top layer was like a kind of chocolatey texture. It was kind of like a Caramac bar. It tasted like that. And then a biscuity base to it. Really like it. I love that it was festive themed as well. Just a nice little thing to have before you get into the scones and the patisseries. at this afternoon tea. So far, I'm really enjoying this. Like I said, I just feel like the atmosphere and the vibes are a lot better than the Ritz. The Ritz for me was a bit too chaotic and loud. This is definitely one to book if you want a more refined, calm experience. And I know it is a bit more pricey, but I think £15 price difference really doesn't make that much of a difference to me. And if it means I can have a more enjoyable experience, I personally would happily pay that. The afternoon tea stand has arrived with me and it is as gorgeous as I was expecting it to be. So you have your patisseries on this and your 2 scones. The scones are served warm in a napkin, so they keep warm there as well. But this looks stunning, honestly. I'm so impressed with it and I'm very excited to get stuck in. We also have 2 jams and a clotted cream to go with the scones. So the 2 jams are a traditional strawberry jam with a hint of chamomile in it, and then they have a festive jam, which I find really impressive. I love when they do limited edition things like that. And this one is a cherry jam with spices in it. Very excited to try it, but let me show you what each of these look like. So they come on a gorgeous serving tray, and then the strawberry jam is just in here. The clotted cream I'll show you is the most perfect dome of clotted cream I've seen in my life. Look at that. How gorgeous does that look? And then finally, let me show you this festive jam. They don't give you too much of it. They just give you a little bit, I think, because they know it's probably not going to be the most popular, but I'm very happy that they included it, and I'm excited to try it and to see what I think. I'm going to start with the scones because I want to have them while they're still warm, and they are still warm, I can confirm, which you guys know is very exciting for me. Now these look incredible. They are glazed beautifully. This is the fruit scone. Here's the plain scone. Look how good this looks. So very excited to get stuck into these. I think what I'll do is I'll do the traditional strawberry jam and cream on the plain scone, and then on the fruit scone we will try the festive jam. So here is the plain scone all loaded up. I'm very excited to try this. I think it's going to be basically the same as when I tried the scones here last time, but I'll let you guys know what I think. I'm sure it's going to be delicious. The scones here are so good. They're so soft and fluffy, and the jam is delicious too. I really like them. I just have to pace myself with them because if I fill up on them, I won't have time or space for the patisseries. So I'm going to finish this half and then I'll move on to the fruit scone and try that with the festive jam that they have available here. Okay, so here is the fruit scone all loaded up with that festive jam. How gorgeous and delicious does that look? I'm going to try it now and I'll let you guys know what my thoughts are. That is so gorgeously festive. It's got the right amount of spice in it, nothing too overwhelming, blends perfectly with the cherry flavour. I really like that, more than I thought I would, because cherry isn't always my favourite flavour. Sometimes I find it a bit too tart or sometimes even too bitter, weirdly. But it's really lovely in that jam. You have to come to the Dorchester for their festive afternoon tea just to try that because it is delicious. Just finished with the scones, so I thought I would show you how much of the clotted cream and the jams that I've used up with the service. I just think it's interesting to know because normally what I get for one person is what you'd be given for 2 in terms of the cream and the jams. So from the creams, this is what I've got left. Not very much left there, but I know that they would definitely give you refills here if you needed it. I think if it was 2 of you, you definitely will need a bit more cream. The jams, as always, you probably don't need a refill of them. This is what's left of the strawberry jam. I didn't really use too much of that. And then the festive jam, I actually really enjoyed. And I actually did use quite a good amount of that up. So that's what we've got left. I'm going to have a bit of a break, let my food go down a bit, and then we'll move on to reviewing the patisseries. And I will also say a choir, the choral choir that I mentioned before that are going to sing carols, have just arrived, and it's a children's choir, so I'm very excited to watch them sing. I probably won't show any footage of them actually just because they are kids, so I don't want to include that in my content, but I'm very excited to hear them sing and to see how it adds to the atmosphere of the afternoon tea. Okay, I've let my food go down a bit, so I'm going to get into the patisseries now. You can probably see behind me the choral singers. Hopefully it's not going to be too loud in the background for you guys. It's really lovely. I honestly think it really adds to the atmosphere here. Unlike at the Ritz one, because they were outside of the afternoon tea room, they were singing really loudly so that we could hear, and it just was too much, and with like all the other conversation it was very overwhelming. Whereas here, I think because the general chatter is a lot lower, the room isn't as echoey. It's actually quite a nice addition, and it's really making me feel really nice and festive, so I'm really enjoying it. But without further ado, I'm going to get into reviewing the patisseries or the pastries. I'm going to start with the Yule log. I'm just going to grab it off of the afternoon tea stand now. So this is the chocolate and orange Yule log with orange marmalade and chocolate cremeux. How good does that look? It's so cute and sweet. I'm very excited to try it. So I'm going to get some on my fork now. Yule log was always my favorite dessert at Christmas time when I was younger. I would always make my mum buy us one, and she'd always get herself and my dad a Christmas pudding. So I'm very excited to try this and to see what I think. I love the addition of orange in there. I feel like Terry's chocolate orange is such a Christmas chocolate thing to have as well. So I really love the flavor of chocolate and orange in there. It is delicious. The sponge is really nice and moist. I'm going to really enjoy eating that. The second patisserie that we've got is the Mont Blanc, which looks amazing. So this is candied chestnut on the top and a vanilla chantilly. I am so excited to get into this. I think it's absolutely stunning. I feel bad cutting into it, but I'm sure it's going to taste as good as it looks. So I've got some on my fork now. I'm going to try it. I'll let you guys know what my thoughts are. That is just delicious. I absolutely love it. Got a meringue base, which is really tasty, and it goes really nicely with the vanilla cream and the chestnut. Third item we have is the almond mousse with a sour cherry compote and an almond sponge. Now this just looks like the cutest little festive bauble. I absolutely love it. The attention to detail here is incredible. So I'm going to cut into this now as well and try a bit to let you guys know what my thoughts are. I'm often not the biggest fan of almond flavors. I don't know why, but in sweet treats I find them a bit overwhelming, a bit too gourmand. Is that the right word? But in there with the cherry is balanced perfectly, and I really like it so far. I'm super impressed. And then the final patisserie that we have is the tropical tart, which looks like this. It's got a gorgeous gold star on the top of it there. And it is, let me just find it in the menu, a coconut chantilly with pineapple almond cream. So I'm very excited to try this one and also see what I think. I'm sure I'm going to love it. I feel like there was a tropical dessert here last time that I absolutely adored. So I'm sure I will have a similar feeling about this one. That is just delicious. I really like it. The pineapple tropical flavor cuts through the coconut and the almond perfectly. So well balanced and so tasty. We've got such a nice variety of flavors in all four of these. I feel like they really balance each other out and you get a really good variety in there. So now that I've tried everything at the festive afternoon tea at the Dorchester, let me let you guys know my thoughts. Now, this is probably the most expensive festive afternoon tea in London at £135 per person. That is pricey. I'm not going to shy away from that. It's a very high price point, but is it worth spending that much money? Personally, I would say yes. I've actually really enjoyed this. It feels very luxurious. If you've ever been to the Dorchester before, you will know it is stunning in here. The decor is beautiful. Every detail is thought about and accounted for. The service here is incredible as well. They're very on the ball. They want to make sure you have an amazing time. You will feel very looked after throughout the service here. The food is amazing quality. They give you seconds of the sandwiches. I have a feeling they probably do it with the scones as well. And the patisseries are just beautifully presented and they taste delicious as well. The teas are also gorgeous. I honestly think some of the best teas I've had have been at the Dorchester. The vanilla black, you need to try that. It's one of the best teas I've ever had. And the champagne was delicious as well. Let's talk a bit about the atmosphere, because when I was at the Ritz for their festive afternoon tea, one of my biggest gripes about it was how noisy it was, and that was because it was packed full of people, it was fully booked. The room is like a circular room, I feel like, but it's the sort of room where it really creates an echo when people start talking, and so the sound level can get very high very fast. And then when you add to that carol singers outside that are trying to sing as loud as they can so you can hear them while you're having your afternoon tea, as you can imagine, that can get very overwhelming and loud quite quickly. The atmosphere here is definitely a lot nicer and a lot quieter and calmer. There is the children's choir doing carol songs, which I'm actually really enjoying. It's really adding to the atmosphere. without being really noisy and distracting. And like I said, the decor here with the festive Christmas trees and all of the flowers matching and everything, it just really adds to it. It feels really nice and luxurious, and I feel like that makes it worth the price point that it's set at. So if you are looking for a festive afternoon tea to do in London that is luxury and at a higher price point, I actually think this might be one of the best ones to book. I really think you are going to feel like you've got your money's worth at this one. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this review. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are compared to the Ritz one. I would love to know whether you've been to either and what your thoughts are. But I'll see you guys in my next video for another festive afternoon tea review. Have a lovely week.